Just a minute. People will come on soon. We can do a little bit of quick prayer service before we get into the nitty-gritty of our celebration of our honorees. So if you want to just be prepared, in a moment we're going to begin on page 39A in our Siddur. So those people, some people might have Siddurim at home. I think also Julia's going to share. Also, Julia, is that right?
Kathy can share in the chat.
Sorry, Kathy.
Yeah, I'll find it.
Two experts are going to share the Siddur also. We're going to pray the evening service for holidays and then creatively do our Simhat Torah celebration.
This is a first for me.
Yeah, for all of us. It's a shechianu for all of us.
We will definitely have a
hopefully it's the last time, but
Yeah. Stay the only one.
Exactly. I see it's in the chat box. If you want to download that file in the chat box, you can feel free to do so. It's called Siddur Lev Shalem. We're on page 39A.
Yeah, move over. That's enough.
Shalom, 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 shalom. Shalom, 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 shalom. Chag Sameach. Okay, Chavre. Chag Sameach, everyone. We are psyched to be here for Simchat Torah, literally like none other. It's going to be on Zoom. Me and Rabbi Jen are here at the shul, actually, to have a taste of what the shul feels like on Simchat Torah. We are going to take out the Torah, at least symbolically. And we're going to have a chance to dance in our Zoom. You'll see in a moment. Some Zoom hakafot, Zoom circle dancing. And really a chance to celebrate, say thank God for reaching this moment. This is the end of the Jewish holiday season, particularly for one of our honorees, Sherry. Hope she appreciates it because she's been involved in every aspect. For example, if you look at that booklet we put out, this is like the end of the booklet. We do have tomorrow also, but we're reaching the end here, and I'm really proud of our whole staff and our whole community for everything we've done to make it through this amazing season. And also let it go through us. It's a chance to celebrate the Torah, celebrate starting the Torah again, finishing Deuteronomy, and going again to beginning with Bereshit within the beginning. So we begin our service together on page 39, and I know in your homes you may know where East is. Feel free to adjust accordingly. If you're able to do so, we rise together for the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai You may be seated, everyone. We continue the first blessing before Shema Yisrael, page 40. Excuse me, page 30. Page 39. Sorry, 39 at the bottom. ומעביר יום מביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המריב, הרבים. So page 40, the prayer of love before Shema Yisrael. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל עמך אהבת המזמור. כי הם ראינו ואורך ימינו והם נגע יומם ולילה ואהבתך תשא ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני
ברוך שמו
אוהב עמו ישראל שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha u'meodecha v'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם ושיזך בביתך ולתך בדרך שובך וקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפו בין עיניך, וכתבתם זו ביתך, וישרף. Continue page 42. Vayim Shemot, Adonai Elohim. Amen. Page 44 at the top of Malchuto. מלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה מרים בני ישראל לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו עולם מרמוך באלם אדוני מרמוך נדר בקודש נורא דהילות ספר למלכותך ראו בניך והוקיעם לפני משה זה לי ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לבוא ונאמר כי יפדרנה את יעקב וגאלום את חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני
ברוך שמו
גאל ישראל. Page 45, the prayer for peace and shalom. Ashkivenu Adonai shalom. ושמור צאתנו בואנו לחיים שלום מעתה ועד עולם ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ועל ירושלים. Rise, page 46. וידבר משה את מועדי אדוני אל בני ישראל. Then Moshe proclaimed the festival of Adonai to the people of Israel. יתקדש ויקדש מרבה יאמר יבחרותי ועמיך מלכותי ויחון וביומכון וחייך בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב יאמרו אמן ישמרה במבורא לעולם ומעמיה יתברך וישתבח ויפאר ודרמה וינשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמר קודשה ברכו לילה מקום ברכתה ושירתה וברכתה ונחמתה דמירן בימים אמרו Amen. So, Chevra, you're on page 306 in your Sidurim. We're going to dive in the Amidah for Aravit for evening service. There are special insertions you'll see here for the end of Shabbat. That's to just notice that for those who follow the traditional prayers. Also, insertions for Yom HaShmini Chag HaTzeret Hazeh. This is considered Shmini Atzeret, the second day of Shmini Atzeret. So, hope you'll just add those in. But it's a silent Amidah. So, take time to offer prayers on your own. This is the celebration of Torah, your commitment to Torah, gratitude for the Torah, gratitude for making it to this moment in our lives. So, time for silent Amidah. Say shalom imroma, uyase shalom aleinu,
ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen.
So, we continue now. You prepare to take the Sefer Torah out of the ark for Simhat Torah. We turn to page 402 in our Sidurim. Okay, page 402. Ata red ladat, ki Adonai Elohim, ein od milvado, le'oseh niflot gedolot levado, ki le'olam chasto, ein kamocha b'elohim Adonai, ve'en gemaasecha, yichavo Adonai le'olam, yismach Adonai b'maasav, yishem Adonai b'machmeatav, v'yad olam, Yi Adonai Eloheinu imanu, kasher haya im avotenu v'imotenu, al yazvenu al yitshenu, v'imru Oshenu Eloheshenu, v'kapsinu atzilim min hagoyim, l'odol l'shem kodshecha, l'ishtabeach b'tilatecha, Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch le'olam v'hem.
Adonai oseh v'yitein, Adonai
Adonai
yivarech
yivarech
et amo v'shalom.
V'yunam arenu l'ratzon, lifnei Adon go. Okay, we now are going to turn and actually take the Torah out of the ark. I'm going to adjust Jay to adjust.
Yes.
So while the Torah is out here, we're actually do some creative hakafot, creative circle dancing over Zoom. So check this out.
All right, so we're going to have 3 hakafot. And during these hakafot, we're going to sing the specific hakafot formula blessings. Obviously, we can't circle around the shul together. But if you want to close your eyes, great. If you want to actually spin around, fantastic. If you want to make a tour around the room. But the most important thing is your kavanah, your intention. So first, we're with the very first hakafah.
So we're on page 404 right now, page 404.
For the very first hakafah, we're going to invite you to put in the chat if this blessing, if this, the spirit of this hakafah resonates for you. Anyone who is dedicated to expanding your Torah learning this year to come, whether you come to a Wednesday morning class or you take a new class that we offer or take another class offered in the Jewish world, if you want to read the Torah portion more regularly, listen into our Facebook missives, anything that's going to expand your knowledge and your connection to Torah, we invite you now to put your name in the chat. And we hold all of you not only accountable, but really honor you for your commitment to growing in your connection to Torah. And we'll follow along on 404. Ana Adonai
Hoshiana.
Ana Adonai
Hazliana.
Ana Adonai Aneinu
V'yom Goreinu. Ay, ay, ay. Anenu, anenu. V'yom Goreinu. Anenu, anenu. V'yom Goreinu.
Now we're going to continue with our second hakafah. This hakafah is specifically for anyone who is committed to taking on a new mitzvah or exploring a new Jewish practice. So it could be saying Shema before bed or Moda Ani upon waking up. It could be your commitment to doing mitzvot out in the world, helping to visit the sick, to feed the hungry, to clothe the naked. It could be lighting Shabbat candles, any Jewish mitzvah, whether it's a ritual mitzvah or a mitzvah between people. We take this moment for everybody who would like to really seal their commitment through this hakafa by adding your name to the chat.
Elohe haruchot
Hoshiana.
Bochen levavot
Hatzlichana.
Koel chazak aneinu
V'yom goreinu. Ay, ay, ay. Anenu, anenu. V'yom goreinu. Anenu, anenu. V'yom goreinu.
We continue now with our third and final hakafa. This hakafa is devoted to anyone who wants to take the Torah out into the world. So whether you want to seal your intention to sort of be a force for Kiddush Hashem, to shed a beautiful light on our people, on our God, whether you want to use the Torah to speak up for justice and righteousness, you want to use the Torah as a vessel for healing in the world, this hakafa honors your commitment to take the Torah out into the world.
Dover tzedakot
Hoshiana.
Hadur bilvusho
Hatzlichana.
Vatik v'chasin anenu
V'yom goreinu. Ay, ay, ay. Anenu, anenu. V'yom goreinu. Anenu, anenu. V'yom goreinu. I just want to add in for all these ideas, there's a spiritual pledge special form that you can fill out that describes opportunities for you to commit to these Torah learning and acts of kindness and justice in the world. You can see them on our website and in our weekly email.
And actually, Kathy will probably paste them
maybe
in the
paste it.
chat. So you can
Exactly.
have access to that link as well.
Yeah,
Perfect
fit.
time to do it.
Okay, so now we're going to place the Torah down behind us here.
Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai.
Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael. Okay, and we are ready to call up our two honorees for a special Torah reading. First for the book of Deuteronomy, and then for the book of Genesis. We now complete the Torah and begin again. We did these, of course, on video beforehand. So I'm first going to call up Sherry Shapiro, who's here, and then we will have her do her video of her reading, and they'll be followed by something perhaps will hopefully be a bit of a surprise. Okay. Tamod, 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 Keter HaTorah, Shirachana bat Avram v'Sara, La'aliyat HaDvarim, Sefer Dvarim. Okay, this time Julie will see the video of her reading.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamavara.
Baruch Adonai Mavarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamavara le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Velokam navi od ba'Yisrael kemosher asher yedod Adonai panim el panim lehoha utot v'hamafotim asher shelo Adonai la'asot B'teretz Mitzrayim, leFaro ulhol avadav, ulhol aratzon, ulhol hayad hahazakah, ulhol hamara hagadol, asher asa Moshe le'enei kol Israel.
Kayach.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet V'haye olam nata b'tuhenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Jekoya.
Simin tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simin tov, simin tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simin tov, simin tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simin tov. Yela. Shira, Sherry Shapiro. What can we say? It's endless, our gratitude to you. Talk about service, true holy service to the congregation. That is what you've been about. You've been in leadership in some of the most challenging issues, including the one that we face now with the holidays. You just came through in flying colors. In every aspect of our congregation, you have stepped forward and said, I'm willing to contribute my leadership skills. Sometimes in meetings that are dicey, there's sometimes some different opinions in our community, you're aware, and you hang in there and balance them, always on top of it, always organized, looking all not afraid of the details and the big picture of the promised land. We can't thank you enough, Sherry, for everything you've contributed to our congregation. Svi, you're not chopped liver. We're grateful for you too, but both on Sherry here. And Sherry, truly, you're just really a gift to Beth Meyer and our congregation. We thank you so much. So with that, we're going to now offer you an opportunity to see a little tribute to your gifts to Beth Meyer and to your life.
Sherry, Mazel Tov on this incredibly well-deserved honor. For those of you who don't know, Sherry's Hebrew name is Shira Chana. Shira means song or melody, and Chana comes from the word Hannah in our tradition, who is known for her grace and truly her capacity to pray. So both of these names, Shira and Chana, have a connection to prayer and ritual. And Sherry, we want to thank you for all the ways in which you take what could be just a letter of the law to really be an expression of the spirit of the law. You help translate melody and grace into rituals that we can all appreciate and participate in, opening our tent as wide as possible, and through these holidays and through the ritual life of our congregation, actually opening that tent even wider to the world community, to the human community. So Sherry, thank you for being the best representation of what ritual life and ritual leadership could look like in a synagogue. We're deeply, deeply grateful for your devotion and soulfulness and service.
Toda Rabah, Sherry. When I think of you, I think of wisdom and leadership. Thank you for all you do and the many ways you support Beth Meyer.
Hi Sherry, greetings from Brighton.
Chag Sameach and good Yom Tov.
I really miss you. You're a wonderful friend and a great inspiration.
We're looking forward to lockdown ending when we can get together again, and see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Frank Shapiro, Sherry's brother-in-law from Israel. When Harvey first brought his newlywed bride Sherry to Israel to meet their family, her warm and charming personality captivated us all immediately. For me and my late wife Chava, she became more than a sister-in-law. She evolved swiftly into a good friend, always very understanding and sympathetic. We became very close, and Chava adored her. Just let me say how happy I am that my younger brother married Sherry. Nevertheless, Sherry is no saint. She has her faults, and the one I discovered was that whenever we went on a trip, she was always going into shoe shops and making a purchase of shoes, and we had to hang around for hours. Nevertheless, Sherry, I want to tell you this, that I forgive you for that sin. Much love, Frank.
Sherry, you are an amazing person.
You chaired the Women's Center at Meredith. You're a brilliant choreographer and an international expert on dance education.
And you are a very special friend. We love you, Sherry.
Greetings from Philadelphia, located in the Keystone State of Pennsylvania, famous for schmears of Philadelphia cream cheese.
The state of Pennsylvania gives 100% of its votes to Sherry Shapiro.
As Kala Torah.
Grandma Sherry. Hope you have a lovely celebration with your community. We love you. Bye.
So first, Sherry, great job laning. You hit those high notes and low notes perfectly. Next year, I think time to move on to shofar blowing. But seriously, Mazel Tov to you for this celebration and recognition of your contributions to the Beth Meir community. The Keter Torah is a very well-deserved honor. After all our years together, I'm still amazed by your energy, creativity, organizational skills, persistence, and not least the way in which you deal sensitively with others as you work towards a change and transformation in the community and in the world at large. I want to also add that I know how much you enjoy and value the rituals of Jewish life, and your chanting of the final portion of the Torah was perfect and very well done, especially for someone for whom this was the first time doing it. But I also know that these rituals have to point to something beyond their simple act. For you, they are always gateways to something larger in terms of reminding us of the importance of celebrating life, the importance of human dignity and worth, and the search for a more caring, compassionate, and just world. So Mazel Tov again, certainly a moment to celebrate and cherish for you, and for me, and for your family and your friends. Mazel Tov again, I love you.
Shalom, Chag Sameach. I'm so honored to offer a few words in honor of our other Keter Torah honoree, Sherry Shapiro, who is honored with reading the last few lines of the entire Torah and Simchat Torah from Deuteronomy, from Devarim. And as she will share on Simchat Torah, these are the last lines of Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, our teacher, as he's finishing his journey just on the other side of the Promised Land. It's very, very appropriate that Sherry would read about Moshe. Moshe was a leader. Moshe was an organizer. Moshe was one who stood up for justice. Moshe cared deeply about community. Moshe was a leader par excellence because his sensitivity of his soul, knowing, feeling, awareness of the group, but also a vision to see the Promised Land. Sherry, your leadership, your commitment to justice, your commitment to this congregation, your commitment to the world, your embodiment of Jewish values and who you are. You've given such enormous gifts to this congregation, just even in this High Holy Day period, helping us get through some most challenging, complex ritual issues. Again, Moshe was known for that too. So are you. You helped us to reimagine things when it was completely brand new. So we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your service, me, Rabbi Jenny, the whole congregation. And it could not be a more fitting honoree to complete the Torah as we start again. Than you, Sherry, our Keter Torah honoree as well. Mazel Tov and Chag Sameach.
Awesome. Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. Okay. Awesome. Sherry, hope Shechianu too. It's awesome. First time reading. Kol HaKavod. Kol HaKavod. Amazing. All right. We now transition to our other Keter Torah honoree. We're so honored to honor Jasmine Medoff. We're going to call her to the metaphysical Torah here. Okay. Tamod, Tamod, Tamod. Keter Torah. Malka bat Gershom v'Leah. Le'aliyah shel Sefer Bereshit, the beginning of the Torah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen. Bereshit bara Elohim Et HaShamayim Ve'et Ha'aretz. Ve'et Ha'aretz. Hayata tohu vavohu, v'choshech al panei tahom, v'ruach Elohim, מרחפת על פני המים. ויאמר אלוהים, יהי אור, ויהי אור. וירא אלוהים את האור כי טוב, ויבדל אלוהים בין האור ובין החושך. ויקרא אלוהים לאור יום, ולחושך קרא לילה, ויהי ערב, ויהי בוקר יום אחד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Simhat tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simhat tov, simhat tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simhat tov, simhat tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simhat tov. Heilanu. Okay, Jasmine, our other star. Amazing to have you here, and amazing to celebrate you on this night, Jasmine. Jasmine, you are a Bat Beth Meyer. Like, you are part of Beth Meyer and the Raleigh Jewish community from your earliest years, but you've also contributed in your own ways completely as an adult. And, and as you will see in your honorary video, it speaks so beautifully, because you're not only a person who takes Judaism so seriously in Jewish community, but you give of your precious time. You are a quite busy person, professional, parent, but you never stop to step forward and give a little mitzvah to help someone in need, particularly in the chesed aspect of our congregation. And it really is what makes us a holy community. Like, we wouldn't be a holy community without the chesed piece. That is what makes us connect to one another. And you are at the forefront of that, organizationally, meals, calls, cards. It's just outstanding to bring. It's so moving to our congregants, and what makes them feel a part of this holy congregation is the holy work that you do. So we're honored to have you now to show your tribute video, no longer a surprise, coming up.
Mazel tov, Jasmine, on this honor which you deserve 1,000-fold. As we all know, our tradition stands on a three-legged stool of Torah, avodah, prayer, and gimilut chasadim, acts of loving kindness. And Jasmine, you have so gracefully led our community over this past year in the ways of gimilut chasadim and chesed. No matter how many times we call you, email you, text you, you are always eager to say, I'll call, I'll reach out, I'm on it, I got this. And not everybody can do that. You have interfaced with tremendous sadness and suffering, grief, heartache, and neediness. And you've done it with such honor and without any fanfare. And we're so grateful that we can depend on you. Our whole community owes you a debt of gratitude, and we're so grateful that you are helping us become the best version of what community Kehillah can be. So Mazel Tov, Jasmine, wishing you strength and continued capacity for chesed in the year ahead.
Jasmine, thank you for all the ways that you help Beth Meyer. When something needs to be done, you are first to step up and say, what can I do to help? Toda Rabah.
Jasmine, you're amazing, and I'm truly honored to call you a friend, and it is a complete blessing to watch you show up for our community the way that you do. So please know how much we love you, we appreciate you, we bless you, and we celebrate you. Love you, girlfriend.
Jasmine is a true mensch and one that you can always count on. In the past couple of years, we've been working together on the Chesed Committee, trying to set up meals for congregants who are ill or ones who are recovering from surgery. She's always going to be the first one to call a congregant and say, what can I do? And many times she's even the first one to sign up for a meal even before I got to even send the email out. And if you think that this is where her true good deeds end, then you're terribly wrong, because she volunteers on several boards and she delivers meals from Jeff Fest, and she's always there for her friends. So Jasmine, I wish you a happy new year, Shana Tova, and I feel truly fortunate to call you my friend.
Jasmine, you are the greatest sister I could have ever asked for. You're such an inspiration as a smart businesswoman, a creative designer, and a strong Jewish wife and mother. I'm always impressed with how much you do for your family, your friends, and your community. I know I speak for the whole family when I say we love you and admire you.
Hi, I'm Rachel Bridgman, and my family met Jasmine and the rest of the Medoff clan right after we moved here. We moved to North Carolina and we didn't know anybody, and we were matched to go to the Medoff's house for Sukkot. And I have to say, we were a little bit nervous. We didn't know if they had kids or what we should do or bring or whatever. And Jasmine made us feel so comfortable. And I think that's actually part of her spirit. Anyway, it got rained out and we were so disappointed because we didn't get to go to their house after we had formed such a wonderful, little mini relationship. So anyway, we went to their house for Shabbat dinner a few weeks later, and it was just fantastic. And it has just been such a pleasure to know and get to know better and laugh with Jasmine ever since. When I found out that Jasmine was going to be honored for Simchat Torah, I just think it's such a perfect match. This is a time when we should be honoring so many of the values that Jasmine embodies without, in some ways, almost any effort. And so I am just delighted to call her a friend and delighted that we get to celebrate her. And Jasmine, obviously, we wish that we were holding up the poles for you and you could be underneath the talit as we celebrate you with our love. However, on a bonus, you get to keep these little videos forever, and I can't wait for you to resurface them in 20 years and we all get to watch them together with you again. Anyway, Mazel Tov, and so happy to be a part of this.
Shalom, this is Simchat Torah, and in honor of Jasmine Medoff, our amazing, amazing volunteer and leader of our Chesed committee, for this short teaching of Torah. So Jasmine is going to lane as our Keter Torah honoree, one of them, the passage from Genesis, from creation. And that passage, in that first paragraph, in the first chapter of the whole Torah, it talks about human beings made in Tselem Elohim, in the image of God. There is nothing more fundamental to our tradition than honoring the Tselem Elohim of every human being, including those sadly in our community who are struggling, whose neshama, whose tselem is going through hard times. That is Jasmine's amazing ability to organize, to acts of chesed and kindness, to truly lift the tselem of every single person in our community, our congregation, and really in the world. We cannot thank you enough, Jasmine, for all of the holy, holy deeds you do. You help us do, you help me, Rabbi Jenny, our community do. You are very appropriate to be our Genesis reader and honoree this year. Mazel Tov. Chag Sameach.
Mazel Tov to Jasmine. Mazel Tov to Sherry. Both you guys. Wow, that I'd seen that before. It still got me emotional just watching it again. It's so great. Just we're so happy, and I'm glad we could make this Simchat Torah celebration as an opportunity to honor not only the Torah but to honor both of you, and in this creative way. I appreciate you hanging in there.
Jasmine and Sherry, you are royalty to us.
Amen.
So wear your crowns proudly.
Exactly. Wear your crown.
We are so grateful for both of you.
Exactly. So with that, we're actually now going to conclude our service here with Kiddush. We can turn to page 79 in your Siddur if you're able to do so. And it's a special Kiddush for Yom Tov, and it includes a little bit of Havdalah, because we're moving in Saturday night into now the regular days of the week. So on page 79. Okay. It doesn't say Bein Kodesh. It's a little confusing. Are you sure? Okay. All right. Go ahead, Rabbi J.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol olam v'manu mikol lashon v'tichanu mitzvotav v'titen lanu Adonai Eloheinu b'ahava מועדים לשמחה, חגים וזמנים לששון. את יום חג השמיני, חג העשרת הזה, זמן שמחתנו, מקרא קודש, זכר יציאת מצרים. קיוונו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים. מועדי קודשך, בשמחה וששון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש ישראל, והזמנים.
So we now put our hands up to some light, because we're doing so light creative fire, because the end of Shabbat. So we're going to hold your hands up to light in just a moment. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei meorei ha'esh.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamavdil ben kodesh
lekodesh,
ben or lechoshech, ben Yisrael le'amim, ben yom hashvi l'sheshet yimei ha'maseh, ben kedushat Shabbat b'kedushat Yom Tov. הבדלת ואת יום השביעי מששת ימי המעשה קידשת. הבדלת וקידשת את עמך ישראל בקדושתך. ברוך אתה אדוני, המבדיל בין קודש לקודש. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם,
שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. אמן. חיים. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה בראשית, שלא עשינו גרי ארצות, ולא שמנו משפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו לכל עמונה. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, נבנה מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. We turn to page 58 in our Sidurim. Invite those in mourning, observing a yard site, certainly to rise for Kadisha Tom. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Be'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon v'yomechon chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. ויתהדר, ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה, בריחו. לעילה, מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, לחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. So Chag Sameach, everybody. We continue tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock is a Simchat Torah morning minyan experience. And then 10 o'clock is an intergenerational Shababa Simchat Torah experience, followed by, including kindergarten consecration at 10 a.m. Is that also on Zoom or is it live?
That's only on Zoom.
It's only on Zoom at 10 a.m. Got it. Only on Zoom at 10 a.m. Be sure to remember your spiritual pledge fill out. We'd love you to do opportunities for volunteering in ways both Sherry and Jasmine demonstrate, from ritual to creative opportunities for chesed and ways to contribute to the congregation. We're grateful for you to find a way to tap on the link in the chat. You can do the spiritual pledge. We'd love to have your support in the year to come. And look forward to various things, minions. We started adult education programs coming up, all the usual stuff. So we wish Mazel Tov to our honorees again, where you really are the crowns, where your crowns of pride. What we'll do is we'll keep the chat and the Zoom open for a little bit, people to kibitz and shmooze and wish Mazel Tovs in the chat. Definitely feel free. But I really hope that everyone has a really joyful Simchat Torah, a unique experience. Hopefully we'll never do it this way again. But we can say, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam she'achiyanu v'kiyamanu v'gianu lazman hazeh.
Amen.
May it be a wonderful first time for all of us. Shana Tova, everyone.
Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach. Chag Sameach.